The parking lot looked like a war zone, not just a skirmish, but a full-blown declaration. Chrome twisted into grotesque sculptures. Leather shredded like forgotten dreams. The very air still hummed, vibrating with the echoes of a shotgun blast that had just torn through the night. 2 patches lay in the dirt, stark against the asphalt. One emblazoned with the iconic redondoite of the Hells Angels. The other, a defiant redongold. That single, brutal skirmish was a flashpoint in an endless war. It cost 3 lives. It forced an entire town fair to shut down in panicked chaos. And it sent a chilling ripple through the outlaw world. For the next 6 months, every Hells Angel on the West Coast, from the grizzled veterans to the fresh-faced prospects, had to ride heavy, always checking their mirrors. You see, the Hells Angels might have built the brand. They might be the name everyone recognizes. But nights like that one serve as a brutal, unforgettable reminder. The crown sits heavy. And there are 4 clubs out there, 4 formidable force perfectly willing, even eager, to knock that crown clean off their heads. They're not just rivals. They're existential threats. Quick note, before we go any deeper. Everything you're about to hear is based on public reporting and law enforcement records across decades. In many cases, details are alleged until proven in court. We don't glorify any of this. We analyze it. Now, stick around. Because today, we're rolling deep into the dark corners of the outlaw world. We're introducing you to the 4 gangs that make even the most hardened Hells Angel check their 6. Tighten their grip and sleep with one eye open. This isn't just about territory. It's about survival, respect, and a brand of loyalty forged in blood. Let's start with a club that doesn't just rival the Angels. It often surpasses them in sheer, unadulterated aggression and a global footprint that's nothing short of intimidating. The Bandidos didn't emerge from some dusty, forgotten barrio alley. Their story began in 1966, not on the Gulf Coast's gritty streets, but in the surprisingly mundane setting of a Houston steakhouse kitchen. Picture this: Donald Chambers, a Vietnam vet with a notorious taste for tequila and an even bigger appetite for trouble, sat there. He wasn't just dreaming. He was building an empire from scratch. He stitched the very first redanged patch onto a denim vest, looked his buddies in the eye, and declared, with an almost prophetic certainty, "We're gonna be bigger than the Beatles." And you know what? He wasn't wrong. Within just 10 years, the Bandidos had eclipsed the Angels in their home state of Texas. And that is precisely when the fireworks started. When 2 apex predators try to occupy the same hunting ground, conflict isn't just inevitable. It's a certainty. The feud between these 2 giants didn't just escalate. It went nuclear in the mid-1990s. The prize? Control over the lucrative I-35 corridor, a vital artery for the illicit trade in meth and guns. This wasn't just about pride. It was about cold, hard cash and power. In a bold move, reports say Bandidos operatives ripped a massive load of Angel product in Dallas. In the outlaw world, you don't walk away from an affront like that. The Angels, true to their reputation, retaliated with ferocity. Accounts from the time describe an attack with military-style hardware against a Bandido clubhouse in Austin. The aftermath was horrific. Bodies, injuries, and national headlines screaming about an escalating biker war. This wasn't just a skirmish. It was a declaration of total war, a line drawn in blood that neither side has ever truly forgotten in this brutal game of dominance. Numbers aren't just statistics. They're a show of force. The Bandidos claim roughly 2,500 members worldwide, with a significant chunk around 900 operating across scores of US chapters. What makes them even more formidable? A substantial portion of their ranks comprises former military personnelmen who understand tactics, discipline, and who aren't easily spooked by blood. They've seen worse. Their bottom rocker proudly proclaims Texas for a reason. It's a statement of ownership. A vow that every mile of asphalt west of the Mississippi, particularly in their home state, is territory they will defend with their lives. But territory isn't the only fuel. Recruitment fresh, blood also drives the hatred. The Bandidos actively poach prospects who grew up idolizing the Hells Angels myth. But those new recruits often want something else. A patch that hasn't been commercialized. Something that hasn't been diluted by mall t-shirts. The Angels, for all their notoriety, became a brand. The Bandidos offer a grittier, more authentic outlaw path. Imagine telling a 23-year-old aspiring outlaw he can either be one of 1,200 Angels worldwide or one of 2,000 Bandidos in a rapidly expanding force. Too many. It feels less like a moral choice and more like picking the fast-growing stock with the most aggressive returns. The hatred, already simmering, boiled over with a devastating incident at Copenhagen Airport in 1996. A Bandido, in a brazen act of violence, opened fire on a Hells Angels escort. 2 innocent Danes were killed, and a California chapter president of the Angels was wounded. It wasn't just local, it was international. When police arrested the gunmen, reports say they found something chilling. A hit list with 24 high-ranking Angels, home addresses. Even the schools their children attended. The Angels' response was swift and brutal. Green lights whispered, lines drawn on maps. To this day, ask an Angel rolling through Oslo or Berlin if he thinks he's alone. He expects a Bandido shadow, 3 bikes back, watching every move. Bottom line, the Bandidos are the undisputed heavyweight contender. Arguably the only club that truly matches the Angels in size, structure, and appetite for carnage. Every truce lasts only until the next load disappears, or the next prospect defects. That gnawing uncertainty. That's what keeps Hells Angels presidents awake at night. The phone on, the safe open beckos. Deep down, they know the Bandidos are always plotting, always waiting. If rivalries this raw make your pulse quicken, you know what to do. Don't just watch, smash, subscribe, and ring the bell. We've only scratched the surface. 3 more clubs live to make the Angels bleed down, now the Mongols. Most outlaw clubs trace roots to the rebellious 50s. The Mongols are different. They didn't even exist until 1969, born on the harsh streets of East Los Angeles. The original members weren't just rebels. They were Mexican. American kidsmen explicitly refused entry into the Angels' then segregated ranks. So what did they do? They didn't beg. They didn't plead. They formed their own table. They adopted Genghis Khan's relentless conquerors, a patron saint. Within 2 decades, they staked their claim. Owning the asphalt of Southern California, the Hells Angels, confident in their dominance, thought they could strangle these newcomers in the cradle. They were wrong. For 17 straight blood-soaked years, the 2 clubs waged a loud war. Shots from San Diego beaches to the sprawl of San Bernardino. Pipe bombs tucked under bike seats. Daylight restaurant hits that shocked the public. Freeway chases atoned 1T through unsuspecting traffic. By 87, the Mongols achieved what no one else could. They pushed the Angels north of the Grapevine. Not just a territorial loss, a humiliation, a scar on Angel pride that still burns. Mongols' membership hovers around 1,000. But don't mistake smaller numbers for weakness. Every patch holder comes with an extended network of Sin's childhood friends and prize-hardened allies out of Azusa, Pomona, Riverside. It's a fusion of outlaw biker culture and street gang mentality. Their move is volume. They swarm, strike, and vanish into urban sprawl, leaving chaos in the rear view. Where angels ride in tight Tukulum discipline, Mongols roll deep in packs of 15, back seats loaded not with passengers, but with enforcership pistols, big egos, fast action, law enforcement files. Think of operations like Black Rain paint a nasty picture. Mongols' alliances with street gangs and other outlaw clubs bent. Pagans pooling resources for joint weapons buys. Imagine a 3-club consortium, cash on the table for a crate of Romanian AKs pointed north at Angel turf. That kind of coordinated audacity rattles the Angels more than any single enemy. It's a multi-front war. Then there's the Mexican mafia factor Thiem tax on prison and street distribution. When payments lag, the EM collects. Pressure rises. The Mongols need quick scores. And who makes a high-value target? The Hells Angels. The violence spills beyond back alleys, swap meets, tattoo shops, even, horrifyingly, kids' birthday parties. Headlines scream. Cops crack down hard. But the Mongols keep expanding, influence spreading like wildfire. Their patch is instantly recognizable, a cartoon Mongol warrior, fierce and unyielding. Cops dismiss it as gang graffiti on leather, but for any Hell's Angel, it's a bullseye. Ask an angel in Fresno whether he feels safe wearing colors south of Bakersfield. The answer is a hard no. That that pervasive uneasy's worth more than any square mile of turf. It's psychological warfare. The Mongols are masters of it. If the Mongols are loud artillery, the Pagans are something elsifer, more insidious. They're the ghost in the wire. Founded in 1959 in Prince George's County, Maryland, the Pagans never cared for flashy clubhouses or public displays of power. Their strength is invisibility. They meet in shadow-stim garages, back rooms, deserted bars, at 2 a.m., no fixed address. That's strategy. Hard to surveil, tougher to infiltrate, hardest to hit. The Hells Angels learned the hard way. In 2002, the Hellraisers Ball drew hundreds of bikers, Angels included, to Plainview, New York. It was meant to be a party, a show of force. But a pagan security team spotted Angels prospecting testing territory the Pagans considered theirs. Words flew. Then fists. Then gunfire. When the dust settled, one Hell's Angel lay dead. 4 Pagans faced murder raps. The state closed a highway for 12 hours. Proof of the scale and public impact. Pagans' membership sits around 1,300. But it's the concentration that matters. They've stacked the Northeast Corridor like cordwood, an impenetrable network from Philly docks to Boston ports. Every gram, every crate, pays dues to a pagan crew. The Angels want a slice. The Pagans refuse. It's not just drugs. It's control over a vital economic artery. Their structure mirrors old-school mafia. A powerful mother club of elders, captains running state lines, foot soldiers earning by any means necessary. Decentralized leadership, no single international president to cut off. Decapitation strikes don't work. You cut one head. To appear, wiretaps tell a bigger tale. Deals with Russian mobster swapping stolen military body armor for high-grade cocaine. 1 month, grenades, 2 Jamaican posses. The next, meth to Aryan prison gangs. Ruthless pragmatism. Unpredictability. It breeds paranoia. Paranoia is a weapon. The Angels can model Bandidos. They can't model the Pagans. And that uncertainty keeps resources burning on ghosts. They're not ignorant of propaganda, either. Social pages pop up overnight pagan patches, photoshopped on landmarks like the Statue of Liberty or the Hollywood sign. Silly, maybe. Effective. Absolutely. The message is loud. were everywhere. Whether real or rumor, it forces the angels to chase shadows, draining coffers and patience. Quiet is not weak. For the pagans, quiet is cover. They strike fast, melt back into suburbia, leave no trace. An angel rolling through Trenton might never see the ambush coming until the van door slides open. Don't believe it. Ask the old New York president if you can find him. Witness protection tends to keep men quiet after pagan shooters use a snow-covered cemetery like a firing range. Before the Bandidos exploded, before the Mongols conquered Sakkel, there was one name that stood as the angels' first, most enduring enemy: the Outlaws. Established in 1935 in McCook, Illinois, the Outlaws predate the angels by 12 years, and they never let the angels forget it. Their patch, a red and white skull with crossed pistons, isn't just a design. It's a deliberate, in-your-face mimic of angel colors. Not rivalry grudge. The simmer turned bloody in 1969 when an outlaw shot a Hell's Angel point-blank at a Cleveland swap meet. The fuse lit. Decades of tit-for-tat. A pipe bomb outside a bar in Gary, Indiana. A daylight shootout on I-75. A car bomb tearing a Milwaukee parking garage. Every clash, police overtime doubled just to contain the fallout. The Outlaws. Strongholds are the Midwest and Floridabrum trafficking corridors. Meth precursors from the Gulf. Illicit pills from Canada. Guns across the Great Lakes. The angels want in. The Outlaws answer with gun barrels. Territory is money. Money is control. Membership hovers around 900, not huge. But they punch above their weight thanks to Alien's Sesquitestrum prison gangs trading dope and protection for muscle. When angels tried to push into Ohio, they ran into parolees with something to prove. The result? Brutal street battles and a retreat south of the Ohio River. Fewer numbers, sharper allies. One story sums it up. In 1995, Outlaw National President Harry Taco Bowman allegedly put an open bounty on any Hell's Angel patch, $5,000 cash, and a lifetime dues waiver. Not an internal memo, a street rumor with teeth. Teenagers with more guts than sense started taking shots at highway riders, chasing prestige. Cops nabbed a 17-year-old who said he wanted the recognition. In outlaw culture, prestige is currency. That rumor emptied ATMs across the Rust Belt. Branding isn't lost on them either. Support Your Local Outlaws shows up on merch racks at the same swap meets where angels sell gear. Nothing infuriates an angel more than a soccer mom slapping an Outlaws sticker on her SUV because it looked cool. It's a constant jab. We're everywhere. Even where you least expect it. Law enforcement still calls the Outlaws part of the Big Four. But insiders say for the angels, pride hurts worse than numbers. The Hells Angels can rebuild chapters. They can absorb losses. What they can't absorb is disrespect. Every time an outlaw sneers California pretty boys, the old sting rises, and old hands reach for heavier artillery. This war isn't just about roots or drugs. It's about Legusio claims the original outlaw crown, and legacy is worth killing for. So, there you have it. 4 patches, 4 philosophies, 1 common goal. Make the Hells Angels bleed. The Bandidos formatal size and military-grade discipline go head-to-head. The Mongol street gung ferocity born in East LA already carved the Angels' heartland. The Pagans hosts in The Wire vanish, then strike with brutal surprise. And the Outlaws, 90 years of unfiltered vendetta, older than the angels themselves. Together, these 4 clubs box the angels into a constant 360-degree nightmare, at war without end. So, the next time you spot a long, polished column of Harleys rumbling down the interstate, chrome glinting in the sun, Remember, every mile of asphalt is contested ground. Every patch is a target. Kings might keep their crowns, but crowns attract bullets. And these 4 clubs, they've got plenty to spare. Which rivalry keeps you up at night? The Bandidos I-35 Shadow War, the Mongols' relentless SoCal Blitz, the Pagans' ghost tactics, or the Outlaws' generational grudge? Drop your pick in the comments and tell me why. I'll pin the smartest take. And if you want more stories from the hard, unforgiving, asphalt, world history culture, the mechanics of power hit, subscribe and ring the bell. New videos every week. Out here, one thing's guaranteed. The road always gets rougher.